From vast oceans to endless deserts, from the snow-capped mountains to the deepest jungles, a spinning sphere of life, home to breathtaking landscapes, planet Earth. And tucked away in this kingdom, where the wilderness continues its quiet reign, lies a small land where the whispers of the jungle meet the calls of the wild. A mirror of sky, framed by towering green, the rhythm of life untouched. In this corner of the world, silence is sacred, and every breath belongs to the wild. Every path carved by instinct, every moment ruled by survival. And in the heart of it all, a sanctuary older than memory. Welcome to Wilpattu. Nestled along the northwest coast of Sri Lanka lies one of the island's most extraordinary wildernesses, Wilpattu National Park. Covering nearly 1,300 square kilometers, it is Sri Lanka's largest and oldest national park. A vast, ancient landscape where nature has remained largely unchanged for centuries. In the dappled shade of Wilpattu's forest, herds of spotted deer move gracefully. These gentle graces, known locally as titmoa, live in close-knit groups. Their social bonding are strong. Grooming, alert calls, and synchronized movement keep the herd safe. There are mainly three types of herds: small family groups, large female groups, and male bachelor groups. What we see here is a large female group, where most of the members are either females, they are young or juveniles, along with a few dominant males. They are selective feeders, often grazing at dawn and dusk, feeding on grass, fruits, and tender leaves in Wilpattu's open glades. Often they graze near trees where monkeys are present, mainly because monkeys drop their half-eaten fruits and leaves, and higher positions of monkey on the tree act as an additional alarm for approaching predators. But they can't rely on other animals for their protection, as they themselves are popular targets for apex predators such as leopards and crocodiles. Yet, despite their watchfulness, these deer find moments of respite during midday, when the forest's silence offers them a brief reprieve. Contrary to their quiet demeanor, these deers possess a rich vocal repertoire, barking when alarmed, bellowing during the breeding season, and the plaintive squeals of fawns separated from their mothers. Nonverbal cues, tail flagging, ear positioning, and posture further communicate their emotions and intentions. In the quietude of Wilpattu, the spotted deer continue their timeless dance, a testament to nature's enduring rhythm. As the mighty water buffalo retreats into the shade, another of Wilpattu's gentle giants step into the frame, the watchful, graceful Sambber Deer. Towering over other deer in Sri Lanka, the Sambber is the island's largest species of deer and one of Wilpattu's most elusive residents. Its impressive size and shy nature make sightings a rare and rewarding experience for visitors to the park. Males are easily recognized by their rugged, three-tined antlers and dark, muscular builds, while both genders carry a thick, shaggy coat suited for the forest's cooler, shadier undergrowth. These physical features not only distinguish them visually, but also help them navigate and survive in Wilpattu's dense terrain. Unlike the chital, Sambber are largely solitary or found in small groups. Dense forest cover and the availability of water influence the distribution of sambar in the wilds. They are known to be browsers as well as grazers, resorting to browsing on the branches of trees when no grass is available. Often during the cool hours of dawn and dusk, their feeding habits play a role in shaping the forest and maintaining the park's plant diversity. Adult sambar, due to their size, face few challenges from predators. However, leopards often target the young, which are more manageable. Well adapted to Wilpattu's mixed forests and willows, their presence is a quiet but vital part of this delicate ecosystem. By dispersing seeds and influencing vegetation growth, they contribute to the long term health and balance of the landscape. From the silent slither of the monitor lizard through tall grass to the stillness of Wilpattu's ancient forests and mirror like lakes, all paths seem to lead to the true giant of this wild realm, the elephant. In the shallow edges of this lake, a lone elephant feeds quietly on tender reed grass, a favored food rich in moisture and nutrients. With slow, deliberate movements, it plucks each reed using its dexterous trunk, then rinses it carefully in the same water before eating. A gentle ritual that keeps the grit and insects away. Elephants, one of Sri Lanka's key wildlife attractions, have been revered for centuries in Asia, playing an important role in the continent's culture, religion, and war. They also play a critical role in maintaining the region's forests. The Sri Lankan elephant, a subspecies of the Asian elephant, holds the distinction of being the largest and darkest in color among its kind. Solitary bulls like this one can be found in Wilpattu throughout the year. Adult males often part ways with the herd as they mature, usually after reaching 10 to 15 years, choosing a life of independence. They roam vast home ranges alone, but they maintain interactions with other elephants and have ever been known to form temporary bachelor groups. Elephant herds are normally seen here during the drier months of the year and are relatively small, with a fluid social structure, primarily consisting of female and their calves. This behavior is unique to the Asian elephants, as their African cousins tend to have large herds with a fixed hierarchy. For them, the willows are more than watering holes. These seasonal wetlands, with their open waters and lush growth, become vital havens, especially in the parched months of the dry season. Here, food is plentiful, shade is near, and the presence of water draws life from every corner of the forest. Elsewhere in the country, both elephants and humans suffer large losses in a hopeless war for space. Though there have been many interventions over the years to protect both sides of this conflict, breakthrough success is still a distant dream. However, with further research and fast implementation, we may still be able to finally put a stop to this pointless scuffle and ensure the safety of these great monarchs. Many kinds of animals call the Wilpattu landscape home. Some fierce, some gentle, some camouflaged, and some vibrant. Some large, some small. All of them play a part in maintaining its fragile ecosystem. One rather obvious member of this foraging clan is the Sri Lankan sloth bear, one of the forest's most peculiar an misunderstood residence. With its shaggy coat, long snout, and thick claws, it appears ungainly. Yet beneath this awkward exterior lies a remarkably specialized survivor. The sloth bear is a solitary animal and is usually only active at night, though they may be spotted foraging during the early mornings and late afternoons. Their favorite diet includes fruit, bee honey, and termites. Their long, curved claws act like picks, and their snouts like vacuums, sucking up insects with astonishing speed and noise. Though they have very poor eyesight and hearing, their excellent sense of smell makes up for it. They spend most of their time with their noses glued to the ground, seeking out tiny feasts from the forest floor. When surprised or threatened, they are notoriously aggressive and are considered one of the most dangerous animals in South Asia. Their unpredictable nature and powerful claws make encounters particularly hazardous. Even still, they are not natural aggressors. They fight only when they feel threatened, usually when protecting cubs or startled at close range. Sloth bears, though in no way considered intelligent, nevertheless have their own rudimentary method of communication. They are known to make grunts and snorts and other different sounds to convey emotions such as anger, impatience, happiness, and even bliss after a long meal. With a population estimated to be fewer than 1,000 individuals, the Sri Lankan sloth bear is now classified as vulnerable. Habitat loss, forest encroachment, and human-wildlife conflict continue to threaten their survival. But still, they endure. Clinging to their shrinking havens, these ancient foragers remind us of the delicate balance between nature and civilization. In the quiet heart of Wilpattu, the sloth bear lives on, wild, elusive, and irreplaceable. The forest canopy is alive with motion. The Sri Lankan jungle fowl, national bird, forest sentinel, brash, noisy, and territorial. Its calls echo through the morning stillness, marking the borders of its domain. Its vivid plumage is both a declaration and dare, flamboyant in a monochrome forest. Though ground dwelling, it is quick to flutter upward, fleeing at the first sight of uncertainty. Higher still, a raptor, its vision cutting through distance. But not all life here announces itself. At the edge of open grasslands and wooded glades, a shadow flickers through the underbrush. It is neither bird nor breeze. This is the black-naped hare, a master of stillness and speed. Slight in form, yet wired with nervous energy, it relies not on strength, but on the split-second decisions of survival. Where it lives, the silent can turn swiftly to danger. The black-naped hare does not wait for certainty. It runs on instinct. For in these lands, watching from shadows, moves a very different creature. The predator whose patience rivals the hare's fear. And a chase, if it comes, will not be a matter of distance, but of timing. The Sri Lankan leopard. Lazy sunbathers by day, agile hunters by night. These big cats are nothing short of fearless. Living in a wildlife sanctuary protected by the government and among an almost never-ending supply of appetizer deer, wild boar, and numerous other small mammals. These leopards live the lives of great kings, roaming the landscape, challenged by no one, taking what they want whenever they want it. However, while exhibiting an outward appearance of a fearsome beast, the leopards of Wilpattu are actually rather docile at heart. For a species that has long secured their spot at the top of the food chain, they are surprisingly lenient towards curious humans who wander into their ancestral lands. Often, leopards could be seen nonchalantly licking their paws, sitting in the dead center of busy jeep tracks. a sight very much sought after by local and foreign tourists alike. One of the most distinct parts of a leopard's imposing presence is their beautiful spotted coat. However, this elegant livery isn't just for show, it serves a utilitarian purpose as well. A leopard's spots are akin to a human's fingerprints. They are a unique method of identification, and to this day, are instrumental in studies and conservation efforts. They also serve as a method of color disruption, providing leopards with incredibly efficient camouflage, allowing them to sneak up on prey unawares. Leopards are masters of disguise. As a stalker, they don't hunt in the usual sense. Instead, they play the part of a vigilant detective, tracking their prey for miles, watching, waiting for the right opportunity. They stay hidden in the shadows, gathering intel on their potential target. Then, when the moment is just right, they strike. All that's left? An eerie quiet under which the leopard feasts and the Sambers and the buffalo mourn. Like most big cats, leopards are quite eloquent. They sniff and roar like lions, males in order to mark their territory, and females to attract potential mates. Their chainsaw like calls also serve to intimidate both humans trespassing on their land and particularly unruly prey. Unlike their smaller cousins in Africa, the Sri Lankan leopard does not store its scales on trees. Instead, they leave it on the ground and devour it quickly. The reason for this peculiar variation is uncertain, but it is theorized that it may be due to the absence of other large predators in their chosen habitats. This absence of worthy opponents has resulted in other variations. The Sri Lankan leopard is larger, heavier, and bulkier. Some say it may be one of the largest species of leopard in the world, each weighing in at over 150 pounds. Not only that, but their beautiful coats are also unique, being tawny instead of the usual gold and brown. Their spots, or rosettes, are also denser, more closely insect. This could be another adaptation, this time to the specific nature of the flora that grows throughout the Sri Lankan landscape. However, despite the apparent majesty of this great wild beast, its numbers are slowly dwindling. Officially classified as endangered, havens such as Wilpattu and National Park are some of the only places where one might find a leopard roaming in the wild. This species has so far weathered many beatings, from poaching to environmental pollution to loss of habitat, but still hold. Despite this, with newfound conservation efforts and the spreading of awareness, there is still a chance we might be able to save this icon of the Sri Lankan wild. As the leopard melts into the undergrowth, its silent hunt giving way to stillness. The forest breathes again. In the hush that follows, a flutter stirs above the canopy. Now, the sky becomes the stage, where feathers, not fur, rule the wild. In the sweltering quiet of Wilpattu's midday forest, where even the breeze has stopped to rest, a shadow lingers in the canopy. Well concealed among the thick foliage is a master of disguise, the brownfish owl, motionless, vigilant, and watching. Occasionally active by day, especially when disturbed or flushed from cover, it retreats to shaded branches where it can remain perfectly still, invisible to all but the most careful eye. Unlike its woodland cousins, the brownfish owl is drawn to water. Its diet includes fish, frogs, and small reptiles, prey plucked from riverbanks and lake edges under the cover of dusk. Its plumage mimics the mottled bark of trees, and with no need for camouflage in motion, its strength lies in the art of stillness. During the day, it speaks little, but come nightfall, its deep, rolling call will echo through the darkened forest. To see one in the full light of day is a rare privilege, a reminder that even the creatures of the night must rest, and even in their silence, they watch. In the canopy's filtered light, perched among the high branches, sits a figure both familiar and not quite fully formed. This is a young crested Serpent Eagle, a raptor in the making. Its feathers, still streaked with patches of white and buff, lack the bold patterns and deep colors of its adult form. Like many raptors, the young of this species take time to mature, and through each molt, their plumage darkens and their silence deepens. What now appears slightly uncertain and soft edge will soon become one of Wilpattu's most formidable aerial predators. While her mate dazzles in the open, she remains in the shadows, quiet, watchful, and composed. The peahen may lack the radiant colors of her counterpart, but her role is no less vital. She is the chooser, the judge, the keeper of future generations. Her subdued plumage is no accident. It offers perfect camouflage as she moves throughout the underbrush, especially crucial when nesting and raising young in the wild. She watches, weighs, and decides, not with haste, but with quiet authority. Her choice will shape the next generation, passing forward the most resilient, the most brilliant, the most worthy. In a world where beauty can be blinding, she sees with purpose, and in that purpose lies the true balance of the forest. High in the treetops, where the canopy filters the lights into shafts of green and gold, a strange silhouette appears, heavy build, with stark black and white plumage, and a casque that curves like a crest above its head. This is the Malabar pined hornbill, one of Wilpattu's most striking and enigmatic birds. Monogamous and devoted, the hornbill's life is one of partnership and trust. During nesting season, the female seals herself inside a tree cavity, relying entirely on her mate to feed her and their chicks through a narrow slit in the bark. Outside the breeding season, they travel in small, noisy flocks, filling the canopy with deep croaks and honks as they forage for figs, berries, and insects. However, these birds are more to the jungle than just ordinary avians. They are living, breathing alarm that cries out in a loud, jarring bark that sends ripples through the treetops. It is a signal, a warning, that an enemy is afoot. Soaring high above the wetlands is the unmistakable silhouette of the white-bellied sea eagle, Sri Lanka's largest bird of prey. With its wings stretched wide and piercing pale eyes locked on the surface below, it waits, motionless, regal, and poised to strike. This raptor is perfectly adapted for the hunt. Its strong hooked beak and powerful talons can seize slippery fish, snatch water birds from the shallows, or even scavenge carrion when opportunity presents itself. Often seen perched on bare branches overlooking the water, it surveys its domain, not in haste, but in utter confidence, a soaring of the skies. These eagles form lifelong pairs, defending large territories that may span across several willows. Their shrill cry echoes across the landscape, a call that announces both presence and ownership. Where the water meets the earth, in the open mud flats and stony shores, the great Thickney holds court. It stands motionless for long periods, relying on camouflage and stealth. When the moment is right, it lunges, snatching crabs, small fish, or insects with a sudden jab of its powerful beak. A bird of habit, it returns to familiar stretches of shoreline, sometimes even nesting in open ground. Though solitary and quiet, its role in the ecosystem is vital, a sentinel of the Willow's shifting edge. Another bird that inhabits the ever-changing shores of the Willows is the common greenshank. A migrant from distant lands, this enduring traveler with its long, slightly upturned bill and pale green legs is a tireless hunter. It's not only the Willows of Wilpattu that birds call home, but the smaller ponds that dot the landscape as well. One bird that commonly visits these tiny havens is the woolly Neckstalk. With its striking contrast of glossy black plumage and a bright white neck, these birds often appear in pairs, bonded, it seems, by instinct. Though widespread in South Asia, they remain vulnerable, relying on intact wetland habitats to breed and survive. Their presence is not only beautiful, it is significant. From the docile deer of the flat grasses to the elephants that roam this primordial soil, to the bears that forage through the underbrush, to the leopards that lord over this kingdom of olden times. As the sun sinks beyond the trees and the day draws to a close, life in Wilpattu carries on quietly, endlessly, and entirely on its own terms. Wilpattu is more than just a place. It is a sanctuary, a safe haven. But more than that, it is a frontier, a last stand where the kings that once ruled the ancient earth walk the plains once more.